in the context of looking at My Heart Remembers by Narayaanee and Kriyananda's personal assistant in the last few years. Well, page 214. Swami, when Kriyananda died, thought that perhaps Kriyananda was Thomas a Kempis in a former life. And Narayaanee's response in a book to this was that it takes a saint to recognize a saint. In other words, this Swami must also have been a great saint to recognize that Kriyananda was who he was spiritually, and possibly, as wonderful as Thomas a Kempis had been, a Christian saint, if you like. And so she says, it takes a saint to recognize a saint. The rest of us see only as much as they allow us to see. As Master says in one of his songs, he knows whom you let know. He knows whom you let know. That if someone, therefore, in this context, she's understanding it to mean that because this Swami lets you know, in this case that Kriyananda is a saintly person, the Swami knows this too, is also a saint, in other words. It takes a saint to recognize a saint, she says. So if we think of the actual song that's coming from, he knows whom you let know. Devotee knows how sweet you are. Devotee knows how sweet you are. He knows whom you let know. He knows whom you let know. Which of course is consistent with when the devotee knows God. Wow. He has life eternal. He's transcended already. He's in the kingdom of heaven. Well, a saint recognizes a saint because he knows what he's looking for. I guess in this case you could say God has revealed to the Swami that Kriyananda was saintly. And it takes a saint to recognize a saint, meaning that he understands what God has revealed to him. He's alive to it. He's conscious of it. He's a saint himself. And of course, Kriyananda and the Swami got on extremely well when they were together. It's not actually that God doesn't reveal to us all who he is. Whatsoever is good and lovely, if you look on these things, you'll come to know God. Creator of the universe, his marks, his hands on everything. It's all there because of him. We can tell our God from what he creates. But you have to have eyes to see, which really means you have to have a willingness to look for and to be sensitive, whereas we're trained to look for all that's wrong and needs correcting, and how should we do it, and Lord, give me this, give me that, put this right, put that right. Not a life of faith at all, but a life of longing for and yearning for and being disappointed and, not getting what you want and and so forth. But God is kind and loving to all of us, just that we don't appreciate it. I guess that's it. He stands at the door and knocks, meaning you have to respond. You've got to take the initiative. Love is not something he can force on you. Love is something is not by command. It's by choice. Because you come to value what God is. How lovely. That's to know God. To know God is life eternal, John 17. Thank you, Dad. Well, Narayaanee was, of course, devoted to Kriyananda, the chap she was looking after. And, well, that was her way of coming to God. And I'm sure she's gone a lot further than Kriyananda by now. My expectation is that she's very much the more focused on God because physically Kriyananda's not around. It's the same with the general Christian thing, isn't it? I mean, people are attracted by the life of Jesus, so they become devoted to Jesus. But that's not what he wanted. He's the messenger. He's the anointed one. He's anointed with the truth. The truth is that you should be loving God. Dad, Heavenly Father. And his mission was to tell you that Dad is your Heavenly Father, not Jesus. That you're to love him with all your heart, soul and mind and strength. Your Dad, you're what you value. Your view of your dad personifies what you value if you love your dad, of course. I mean, we don't all love both parents because we're children and we're chaotic and we're not as appreciative as perhaps we should be. But when we start to see God as our heavenly dad, well, that really puts us on track. And that's what we're sent to do, according to Jesus' view of things. We're sent to do what he did. What did he do? Told us God was our dad. And was our example of how to love God, how to live. Not to worship the example, but certainly to be blessed by it. Just as Narayaanee was blessed by loving and caring for Kriyananda. Bless her. It's a most touching story. I have tears when I read it. Tears in my eyes. Bless them. Thank you, Dad.